get down, stop, go, shoot, kill, I need a medic, and incoming. No one is trying to have a conversation with you, so shut the fuck up. The next lesson about being an effective soldier is that you follow orders. If you are not the person in command of your assault team, then you should be following orders. So if your team leader says, check over there, or wait here, you fucking do it. We're not here to have a debate. Your team leader doesn't give a shit if you're tired or scared. Just shut the fuck up and do it. I hear these people all the time proudly say, man, I could never be in the military because I couldn't follow orders. You know, if America was ever invaded, it would be that guy that would be the first to die because he wouldn't put his head down when he was fucking told to. Then you have people who say, I couldn't stand having someone yell at me. What do these people think? That when people are shooting at you, it's going to be quiet? That your team leader will be able to just casually lean over and calmly ask you if you have any Grey Poupon? No, he's going to be yelling his ass off. Hand me the fucking ammunition or blow that motherfucker's head off. The battlefield is fucking loud. You have to yell. So if you can't deal with people yelling at you, then go crawl under a fucking rock or something. So that's going to be the biggest obstacle of any civilian force. But I trust that Americans are quick learners when it comes to warfare. The other thing that basic training will teach you is discipline. That you cannot half-ass anything. If you ever seen footage of Iraqi civilians shooting guns, it's as if they never bothered to learn anything about marksmanship. If you want to be an effective soldier, if you want to be a real asset to your country, you must take this shit very fucking seriously. Read a few books that are written by veterans about their experiences in combat. Go look up some gory war pictures. One of my favorite movies is Ghost Dog. The main character mentions that the samurai would meditate on death each day, on being killed in various ways. Now, why would he do that? It's because you must begin now to address your fears if you hope to overcome them, or you may find yourself paralyzed when your loved ones need you most. Now, some people might wonder, how am I going to be able to train and shoot guns and stuff if I don't live out in the country? You're going to have to be discreet and creative. Find out about your local gun range. Look and see if there's already a militia in your area that you can train with. You can go to awrm.org and find out about that, if there's any militias in your area. There's a lot of stuff that you can learn how to do just sitting in your living room. If you've got a BB gun, you can use that indoors to practice marksmanship. Set up a little scene with little cut-out cardboard trees or buildings and little green plastic army men with their helmets painted United Nations blue, and then start mowing those little bastards down. And that's your marksmanship training. That's all you really need, is just to get a concept of how to put a round down range and take some son of a bitch's head off. Okay, apart from all your military gear, you're going to need food and water. You also want to prepare to survive in a situation when communications go down, such as telephone, cell phone, the internet. How will you communicate with your team members? Do you have a designated meeting place for when the shit hits the fan? You know, where are you guys going to meet up at, or how are things going to go down? Get some walkie-talkies, some candles, some flashlights, but most importantly, go to a bulk food store or go to a discount grocery store and get a shitload of non-perishable foods and bottled water. There's no such thing as going overboard. Get a mountain of canned beans, fruits, vegetables, and some huge bags of rice. You should keep some of your food well. Also, I highly recommend that you get a large plastic container of some kind, fill it with food, bottled water, some ammunition, and bury the thing in your backyard or someplace off in the woods that you're familiar with. The basics of what you'll need as a resistance fighter is a gun or rifle. ammunition, a backpack to put supplies in, a gas mask, and some food and water. Everything else is just icing on the cake. So that's just the basic stuff that you need. You can get a firearm for as little as $100, like this M44 Russian 7.62 rifle. It's an old gun, but it can still put a hole through some dumb bastard that tries to put your loved ones in a FEMA camp. You can get a shotgun for $200, or a little bit more than that. A gas mask can be acquired for as little as $10. If you can't breathe, then all the rest of your gear and supplies are utterly useless. You can get a military rucksack, but a sturdy backpack can do just fine. As for the food and water, a canteen is nice, but toss a few bottled waters into a bag and some well-sealed non-perishable foods like energy bars, trail mix, dehydrated fruits, and you're about set. Then you just need plenty of ammunition. Now you can't carry 1,000 rounds of ammo, but for each firearm that you do purchase, make 1,000 rounds each for each gun your goal. There are a few ways to outfit a freedom fighter. You either have urban, or you have urban with the ability to transition into the wilderness, or you have a wilderness fighter. For instance, urban units don't need shovels because they're not going to be digging holes. Urban units won't necessarily carry as much food or water. If you're going to do an operation and return to a safe house, you don't need to carry 3 days worth of food with you. My list of items focuses on an operator that can transition from urban to wilderness. He's not going to be carrying a sleeping bag, but he has enough gear and knowledge to survive if his ass has to cut and run into the woods. Now we'll get into a more detailed list of things that you can purchase. BDUs. BDU means battle dress uniform. They are made out of durable fabrics and come in a variety of camouflages. A few notes about camo. If you live deep in the city, you don't need wilderness camo unless you plan to conduct operations from the outskirts. Even then, plan on urban operations, which means you're either wearing regular civilian clothes during daytime operations or black SWAT team BDUs for nighttime operations in the city. A rucksack. These come in a variety of sizes. For urban operators, you may want to choose a smaller pack. Keep in mind, though, that American militia forces must be trained as heavy infantry, which means you have to carry a lot of shit in order to make up for the fact that we don't have armored personnel carriers and supply trucks, tanks, or helicopters to help bring in supplies or blow shit up for us. MREs, or meals ready to eat. These are conveniently packaged foods that will last a lifetime, literally. But as mentioned, you can make your own packs of food. Remember, a soldier can consume up to 4,000 calories in a single day. You want 2 or 3 days worth of food in your rucksack and 2 canteens worth of water. So 2 canteens, I already mentioned that. You want 2 canteens and canteen holders. A combat belt. These are heavy duty, very wide belts that you can put ammo pouches on and canteens and other shit. Weapon cleaning kit. If you take care of your gun or your rifle, it'll take care of you. Earplugs. The battlefield is going to be fucking loud. Protect your ears. Butt pack. Here's the deal. You've got a bunch of shit in your rucksack. You've got that on your back. But if you have to take that bitch off and drop it someplace, you still got your butt pack with more supplies and survival shit in it. Your butt pack will attach to that thick-ass combat belt. Ammo pouches. These attach to the combat belt. And additional pouches. You can never have enough pouches or pockets. You might even find yourself sewing new pockets just to add more pockets. Which brings me to the sewing kit. There are 2 simple things you need to know how to do. How to sew a button on and how to sew 2 pieces of fabric together. If you don't know how to sew, ask your commander. That means your wife. Or your mother, if FEMA's already dragged your wife off because her cooking is an act of terrorism. Pellet hand. That's for shooting lights out so you can sneak up on motherfuckers better. Pellet rifle. That's just for target practice indoors if you can't find a gun range or any other place to shoot real guns. Gloves. I suggest 1 pair of fingerless gloves, 1 pair of tight-fitting shooting gloves, and 1 pair of warm gloves. Cuts and scrapes on your hands will ruin your fucking day when your adrenaline isn't pumping. So bring a lot of gloves. First aid